Red Room, Society of Silence, Act 2. 1 a.m. to 2 a.m. The hallway had gone quiet. Behind him, the others had disappeared, one by one, into the rooms they'd been assigned. The air shimmered faintly. A mirror at the end of the hall was humming now, almost gently, like it was remembering something. Min didn't move. He was curious. Because in the glass he saw a face, the face he never seen 4 years ago. The boy who had undone him with a whisper, then disappeared like he was never real. The boy was looking at him now, reaching out from the other side of the glass. Min stepped forward. "I always wanted to know who you were," he whispered. His fingers touched the surface, and it gave away. Just gone. The mirror returned to stillness. Room 1. Joon. He doesn't dominate. He doesn't seduce. He witness. The room greeted Joon exactly as it had before. Still, red, and reverent. The blindfolded freshman was already seated. When he entered, back straight, fists balled in his lap, like he was holding something in. A breath, a memory, a need. Joon said nothing. He closed the door behind him and placed his sketchbook on the chair, then walked in slow, deliberate arcs around the boy. Not touching, just listening. The air felt thick, not hot, not cold. Like the room had exhaled and wasn't ready to inhale again. On the third pass, he stopped behind the boy, close enough to feel the worms radiating off his back. Still no words. He crouched to retrieve his sketchbook. Then, for the first time in this room, Joon spoke. "Don't pretend to be brave." The boy twitched, only slightly. Joon smiled without showing it. "Lift your shirt." The boy did, hesitant, blindfold still in place. The tank top rose slowly, exposing a trembling rib cage and a soft line of muscle underneath. Joon knelt in front of him. He didn't touch him yet. He sketched. The boy shifted, not backward, but forward. Not quite an offering, not quite a plea. Joon didn't react. He only said, "Keep your hands where they are," and began to draw. The light hit the boy's skin in perfect arcs. Time passed slowly and deliberately. Finally, when he had finished sketching, Joon stood. He walked around the boy again, not touching, not teasing, just studying, measuring. He returned to the door. Before leaving, he looked once more, not at the boy, but at the space around him. "You may touch yourself after I leave, but don't finish." He opened the door, paused. "If you do, I'll know." And then Joon was gone. The boy sat trembling, unsatisfied, confused, and maybe, just maybe, a little addicted. Room 2. Leo. The worst submission is the one you volunteer for. The room was already warm when Leo entered. The boy was seated, blindfolded, calm, hands placed neatly on his side, his red short perfectly pressed, his white tank top clinking slightly to his chest with the faintest sheen of sweat. Leo shut the door and rolled his shoulder once. His own shirt, thin, ritual white, was already sticking to his back. He dragged a hand down his face. This room felt different. Thick, not in temperature, in expectation. He circled the boy, slow, trying to find what Ethan had seen in him. He made you mow, didn't he? No answer. But the boy's chest rose, just a little. Leo stepped in close. One knee brushed the boy's. Still no reaction. The tension made his skin prickle. What did he do? Leo asked, voice low. Did he make you beg? Did he pin you down? Still nothing. Not even a nod. But Leo was already halfway gone, somewhere between obsession and jealousy. Do it. Do it to me like he did to you, he muttered. It wasn't a command. It was a surrender. That was when the boy moved. Not suddenly. Just with purpose. He stood, silently, and faced Leo, even through the blindfold, like he could see him. His hand rose, slowly, deliberately, to Leo's waist. Leo didn't stop him. Leo raised his arm without thinking. Then the boy dropped to his knees. There was no performance, no ceremony. Firm, certain. Leo gasped, not from the touch, from not being asked. He wasn't being punished. He was being remembered. Each motion echoed Ethan's brutality. It was quieter now, more measured. And that's what made it worse. When it ended, he simply stepped back, adjusted Leo's waistband, sat again, hands folded. Leo turned to face him, still blindfolded, as if nothing had happened. Room 3. Ethan. Control was never the point. He just didn't know how to be touched. The door shut softly behind him. Ethan stood there, a little longer than necessary. The freshman inside wasn't who he expected. Smaller, softer looking, blindfolded like the elders, seated calmly, his hand folded in his lap. He looked like he had a mood since being placed. Ethan blinked. No heat, no fire, just stillness. He approached. The boy didn't react. Not like last time. The one who'd gone stiff and silent until Ethan forced a sound out of him. This one just breathed. He didn't say anything. And then, the boy leaned forward. Slowly, carefully, like he was trying to understand Ethan's shape through the air alone. Ethan didn't stop him. A hand brushed his knee. A palm rested on his thigh. Because this time, he wanted to be touched without question. He didn't hide the boy, didn't speak. Ethan closed his eyes. There was no performance, no manipulation, just presence. The boy tilted his head, as if listening. But Ethan has left the room. Room 4. Yuki, Tanaka. Stillness isn't surrender. It's calculation. Yuki entered the room like a shadow. No noise, no wasted movement. Just the sound of the door latching softly behind him, and his bare feet crossing the cool floor. The freshman sat in the chair like the rest. Tent top pressed flat, red shorts folded perfectly at the knee, blindfold secured. Still patient, probably rehearsing fear. Yuki didn't speak, He didn't touch the tray of objects by the wall. He didn't glance at the couch. He walked forward, stood directly in front of the boy, and crouched. The air between them crackled with a silence too heavy to be called peace. Yuki raised one hand. 2 fingers touched the boy's knee. The boy twitched. Not enough to retreat, just enough to register. Yuki tilted his head, examining the fabric, the line of the skin, the place where body meets restraint. "Lift your shirt," he said, a whisper, almost disappointed. The boy obeyed. Yuki watched. "Lower it." The boy complied. "Turn." The chair squeaked slightly as the boy turned his back. Yuki stepped behind him, ran 2 fingers up the curve of the spine through the cotton tank. Still nothing, still no mark. He crouched again. Yuki exhaled almost silently. "Not you," he whispered. He stepped back, left the shorts where they were, walked down the door. Before leaving, he glanced once more, not at the boy, but at his own reflection in the mirror mounted on the wall. It didn't move, but Yuki's own voice echoed softly as he left. Yuki left the room with his face unreadable. No mark, no confirmation, no pattern. He stepped into the hallway and closed the door behind him softly. At the end of the corridor, the mirror pulsed once, just once, a barely visible ripple along its surface, like someone had breathed against it from the other side. Yuki stared at it. No one was watching him, and yet the mirror felt like it was. He stepped toward it. The hum grew deeper, as if resonating with something inside him, something he hadn't given permission to be found. His hand lifted, almost against his will. He touched the surface. It rippled, and then it pulled. His body lurched forward, his heels dragging. His hand clawed at the edge of the frame. But the mirror was stronger. It didn't rip him in. It invited him so completely. His residence came too late. His scream twisted into a silent shape behind the glass. His face, for a single, searing moment, was reflected in perfect clarity. Eyes wide, mouth open, fingers reaching. Then he was gone. The mirror stilled, but no one ever heard him. Room 5. The boy who waited. The chair was cold. The freshman in room 5 had sat still for as long as he could. At first, he thought it was part of the game, part of the anticipation. But as minutes passed, and passed, and passed, he realized no one was coming. But when the silence got too loud, he folded and curled into himself and waited for something to break the silence. Nothing did. That was chapter 2 of Red Brew, The Society of Silence. If you made it this far, you already seen more than you were ever supposed to. If it stayed with you, press like. If it followed you out of the room, maybe subscribe. There's more. It doesn't end here. And if you got stories you want to tell, quiet ones, strange ones, the kind no one else remembers, I'm still listening. See you in chapter 3.